If you're a real estate agent in 2026 that is committed to building an inbound brand, this video is going to give you a really simple three-step overview of how to get from unknown to attracting your dream clients using a simple three-step inbound marketing framework. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the three-step framework. It's going to be really simple. I'm going to give you actually a fourth bonus one to kind of pour gas on the entire thing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Number one, your storefront as a real estate agent, other than the blocking and tackling activities that we do every single day, like door knocking and open houses, and maybe you're calling expireds, working your sphere, all of that fun stuff. Let's take all of that. Let's put that aside for a second. Your main storefront for everything that you do is social. That's kind of like how people window shop for the business that you offer. So step one in this whole inbound content funnel or inbound real estate funnel is the content that you create. Now we've got a lot of options here. If you're not doing any of them, it's totally okay. You don't need to do all of them, but we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook business pages, we have YouTube, a little bit of Snapchat, new one coming. And that's pretty much it, right? We don't really have to worry about too much after that. Now, if you're not doing anything right now, and you know that video is the way that you want to go, and videos you know you need to go all in on video, and you're cool like doing long form talking head video style like this, then the two that I would consider right now, believe it or not, would be Facebook or YouTube. YouTube's its own beast. There's some people that are telling you like, you don't have to post a lot. I will tell you that every time that we go through moments of high amount of posting, business improves, right? So the amount you post definitely matters. The only thing that you have to worry about, the only thing that you need to be focused on is my content getting better every single time that I create? That's all you need to worry about. So create video number one, and then, review it. What can I do? What's one thing that I can do on the next video to make it a little bit better? Create video number two. What's one thing I can do on this video the next time I record to make it a little bit better? And just keep going over and over and over and over again. I will tell you that daily video will change your real estate business. Like, it will change the financial bloodline of everything going forward if you commit to daily video. If you commit to 3 a day, it's even better. Our cadence of content here on the Inbound Clients OS side is one long form video, a couple short form video, an image, and maybe a carousel every single day. It takes about 2 hours to produce all of that every morning, much like we're doing right here. And I can tell you, when you commit to it, it 100% does work. So we want to look at one social platform, and we really want to go all in on it as aggressive as we can right now. So if that's YouTube, really understanding how to master long form video. You can do it with short form videos, while YouTube Shorts, those definitely work. They scale a little bit quicker, but you can't click links in YouTube Shorts. You can only link a short with another long form video. So you really have to be really clear with a really, really short domain that makes sense in your market that you can talk about over and over and over and over again. That's how I would make shorts really work. If your web domain is like how to buy charlestonrealestate.com, Shorts is probably not going to be your friend, because you need to be able to reference this URL over and over and over and over and over again in those shorts. I would focus on something that's 2 words long and is almost impossible to misspell, right? So like charlottehomes.com would be a really good one. That would be a hard domain to get. But people that live in Charlotte, I think Charlotte's in South Carolina. Charlotte, South Carolina? Yeah, that sounds right. People that live in Charlotte, they're not going to misspell charlottehomes.com. It's really easy. It makes sense. And you can talk about that over and over and over again. If you're going to do long form content, then this could be how to buy a home in Charlotte. It could be how to sell a home in Charlotte, where to live in Charlotte, what got listed in Charlotte, what sold this week in Charlotte, what went under contract this week in Charlotte, where's the market going in Charlotte, what's the average price. We want to talk about Charlotte real estate over and over and over and over and over and over again. Here's what I don't want you to talk about. I don't want you to talk about anything that's overly social or overly lifestyle driven in Charlotte. Not that that stuff doesn't work. It goes viral, that those videos do really well, but people will treat you based on the content that you give them. So if you're always talking about the new restaurants that are opening, people are always going to associate your brand with knowing about the new restaurants that are opening. And nobody goes and talks to a real estate agent and says, hey, I'm so glad you told me that this new restaurant was opening. You must be an amazing real estate agent. That connection never happens, right? So it's really easy to get addicted to that stuff. My suggestion to you would be not to do that unless it's one every 4 posts and you're just using it as a tide riser. Even then, I can tell you, I still probably wouldn't do it. I would focus on real estate super hardcore. We only need to get 40 to 200 views per video on YouTube. I know that sounds small, but one video a day over the period of a year that gets 40 to 150 views on YouTube every single day will change your life with inbound branding. We don't need 10,000 views per video. That's not the goal for this, because this is very niche content on YouTube. And we're creating this for the people that come into our funnel or the people that learn who we are, we're giving them an opportunity to go to a marketing asset and binge what we're all about, so that it makes the appointments a lot easier. If you just thought of YouTube as an insurance policy over the appointments limits that you're setting could be probably the best ROI that you run. Facebook, I recommend it as well if you don't have anything, because it's really easy to spin up a business page. You can do long form video on it. You can do reels on it. You can do images. You can do carousels. You can do everything on that post. And in most markets that trend higher on the average sales price, I don't know what the average sales price is in Charlotte. I'm not even really sure why I'm using that as an example. But if your sales price trends higher, then the age is probably going to trend higher as well. And Facebook and Instagram trend a little older than maybe YouTube does. Now, some people will tell you YouTube's for 18 and 25-year-olds. Listen, I'm 45. I use YouTube like crazy for almost every facet of my life. I think there definitely is that audience out there. I just don't think the older audience is on YouTube as frequently as the younger generation is. But the numbers, it's not crazy disproportional, but it is a little disproportional. So Facebook and Instagram is where I'd be. Facebook is probably where I'd start because it's easier to do long form video on Facebook than it is on Instagram. It's more consumable on that platform. I'd start there, then I'd go to YouTube, then I'd go to Instagram. I would not do all at the same time. You're going to get stuck. One at a time, master it, go all in and say, okay, all this content that I'm creating for Facebook, how do I repurpose this or how do I adjust it to go to YouTube? That would be my mindset around that. So phase number one is that your retail store, your storefront is social, and you need to pick one platform and you need to go all in on it. Phase number two of an inbound real estate brand is the ads that you spend money on to amplify that content. Now, I'm not talking about like, ninja funnels that you run where it's got like all this weird targeting and this headline and, make sure you use this image and, it's a 4-step funnel and then there's a quiz at the end. I don't mean any of that. Well, all I want to look at ads for, I want to make ads really simple for you. I want to take the content that we're already creating and put money behind that to amplify that exposure. That's it. So if you're on YouTube, we're going to do a lot of discovery ads. We're going to do a lot of, 6-second bumper ads. We're going to do a ton of that stuff for very low cost so we can just get the brand out there. Because keep in mind, on YouTube, you can still run ads 1 mile around an address. YouTube, the Google ad placement categories are still really favorable to real estate agents, whereas on the Meta platform, you've got to do like Carlsbad plus 15 miles or Charlotte plus 15 miles, which is okay. But I don't know if you guys live where we live, but 15 miles away from this city, a totally different market. There are some very, markets that are much more expensive than Carlsbad. There are some markets that are much less, inexpensive, much cheaper than Carlsbad is, if that's the right way to say it, right? And, maybe some of them are looking to move to Carlsbad. I don't know, but it's just one of the rules you have to play by. So YouTube, you get a lot more control. You can literally run ads to the city or the zip code alone and just leave it right there and hyper talk directly to them, which is really good. But I want you to think of ads as nothing more as a budget that you put behind the content that you're already creating. If you're doing some math right now, or you're in the mood to do some math right now, I would budget $3.60 as a CPM. Here's what that means. When you run ads on YouTube and you run ads on Meta, they're going to tell you what your average CPM is for your ads. And that's the amount of money you are paying to reach 1,000 people. CPM stands for cost per mille, or meaning 1,000. So if you're paying $3.60, that means Meta's saying every time we show your ad, whether they click on it, whether they watch it, whether they favorite it, doesn't matter what they do, every time we show your ad to 1,000 people, we're going to bill you $3.60. So if we're spending $1,000 a month in ads to amplify the content that you're already creating, we're going to take $1,000, we're going to divide that by $3.60, and then whatever that number is, we're going to multiply that by 1,000, and that's the amount of people that are going to see your ads for about $1,000 a month in ad spend. The best ad that you can run is against the best content that you create. The better the content is, the better the ad will do. There is no marketing campaign. There is no funnel. There is no lead generation campaign. There's no ManyChat campaign. There is no campaign that you can run that will outproduce terrible creative. So the reason why I put content first, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to do content. I'll just run ads. And you can do that. But when you run ads to content that is not well produced, and I don't mean like you've got an expensive camera or an expensive mic and maybe an expensive light and all that stuff. That's not what I mean by well produced. I mean, there's a good story to it. And the hook actually makes sense. That's really important for this stuff, because when you don't do that right, then the ad tends to be like, Facebook will still take your money, but they're just going to charge you a lot more to get that same ad in front of those same people. So the number one thing that I would be thinking as if I'm in phase one in creating content is, would this content do very well as an ad? And if the answer is yes, you're probably on the right track, right? So we want to spend at minimum, that's $30 a day, right? So $30 divided by 360 is somewhere around $8. 8 times, 1,000 is going to be about 8,000 people a day. Which would be, my math could be a little bit off on that. $30 divided by 360. Yeah, it's somewhere around 7 or 8 times 1,000. 7 to 8,000 people a day are going to see that on a 30-day budget. And that may not seem a lot, but when you're doing that every single day, and then you get the first appointment, and you're like, well, hey, I'm going to go from $30 a day to $60 a day to $100 a day, which would be $3,000 a month. Most of you guys are in markets that at $2,500 to $4,000 a month in social ads, when you just use ads to amplify the content, it would be completely life-changing. Like within a week, you're going to go get coffee and somebody's going to say, oh, I've seen your stuff on social. Like you're the guy that does like luxury real estate in Charlotte. It happens that quick. At $2 a day, at $5 a day, at $7 a day, it may happen. It's just going to take longer. In fact, I'll give you an analogy that somebody told me years ago. And they said, if you knew for certain that if you bought 1 million lottery tickets, you would win the jackpot, how long would you take to buy the lottery tickets? Well, you say, well, if it was guaranteed that I would win, I would buy all 1 million lottery tickets today because like, why don't I just win today? Advertising kind of works the same way. You can spend a little bit and year over year over year over year, you will have a positive ROI. But if you know the budget is what the budget is, your goal is to compress that budget as much as possible, as short as possible, so that we can get the result right away, so that we can then take the profit from that result and then do it again over and over and over again. If you're only spending a couple bucks a day, year over year, it will be profitable, but it's going to happen so slow that your level of excitement over running ads is going to dwindle really quick because you're just not seeing the return or the activity you should, when you do that, right? So we want to spend as much as we can, take all the good content that we're creating, use engagement campaigns and push that on. Now, if we're running engagement campaigns, what does that mean for how we get leads, right? Well, when we run engagement campaigns specifically on Facebook and Instagram, there is a tool called ManyChat where you can say, hey, if you like this video, then comment this below and I will send you, this thing, right? You can run engagement ads to those ads because you don't need to ask for their info or their email. You don't need to take them to the website. It's just, hey, I have this piece of content. The conversion is what I say in the video, like meaning the conversion is we created a simple 3-step process on how you can sell your home for a record price in record time if you want it. It's totally free. You don't even need to call me. Just comment report below and I'll send it to you. That could be the conversion in that video. So when we're running an ad against that, we don't need to do all this fancy ad setup in the Meta Ads Manager. All we have to do is say, take this video and show it to my ideal customers, which in your case would be the city of Charleston plus 15 miles, right? So we want to do that over and over because the more people to see that video, especially if the video was well produced, the more leads that are going to come in. So if you knew that, like, again, your cost per 1,000 views was $3.60 and you spent $10 a day on that video and that got you 8 leads a day, like I would keep running ads against that until those leads no longer came in. And I would just keep repeating that process over and over and over again. You might be asking like, okay, phase 2, the ads phase, like how many ads should I be running? It's not about how many ads you should be running. It's about the total budget you're spending versus the results you're getting, right? So there are some campaigns that we've put together for some of our coaching clients that have upwards of 30 to 50 ads in it. And there are some that just run 3. It varies by market. It varies by what your goal is. It varies by who you're trying to reach. Like, do you want to do the luxury segment? Do you just want to do everything in that city? Is it investment real estate? Is it apartments and townhomes and condos? Is it single family homes? Is it big homes? Is it investment homes? Is it multifamily? Like, it depends on who you're going after. The most wide that I would do where we tend to find this works really well is the city. I would not do, like, I live in Carlsbad, California. I would not do like the entire county of San Diego. It's too big. I would pick one city and I would just hit it super hard over and over and over again because people, it's easy for them to know, like, and trust you when they know exactly like what you stand for and what you do. When you're a generalist, people have to like judge and assume what you do. We don't want them to do that. We want them to say like, oh, that's that Carlsbad dude, or that's that real estate investor dude, or that's that multifamily guy, or that's the home flipper guy. We want them to know who we are specifically based on what we want to do. Okay, so we talked about phase 1, creating the content machine. Then we talked about phase 2, taking the ads to amplify all that content. Now we got to get into phase 3, and this is the conversion from all of those ads, right? And there's only 2 ways that we want to bring them into our CRM. And after this, I'm going to give you a bonus number 4. And I think once you can understand this, you may have an aha moment of like, this doesn't really need to be as hard as I'm probably making it out to be. But number 3 is the conversion. And there's only 2 ways we're going to convert them into the CRM. Number 1, we're going to use a tool. If you're using Facebook and Instagram, the tool that I would recommend would be ManyChat. It starts at $15 a month and scales with the number of clients that you put through. And if you've ever looked at our posts do this, right? If you ever looked at an Instagram post and somebody says, comment like report and I'll add you to our email, and then you comment report and then there's a link that, automation that kicks in, that's ManyChat. That's who does that. It's really inexpensive. It's $15 per platform. So if you want to do it on Facebook and on Instagram, you have to have 2 separate accounts that manage that. It's one account, but two different subscriptions, I guess you would say, because you need one subscription that covers Facebook and one that covers Instagram. This is by far from a marketing automation perspective, this is by far the number one tool that we use, right? We have Go High Level, we have HubSpot, we have Hippo Video, we have ManyChat, we have a lot of tools that we pay anywhere from, $50 to $500 a month for. The most valuable, if I had to cut everything and stick to just like one tool, I would use ManyChat, and I would just funnel all those into our Notion database, and I would keep it super lean. Notion, or not Notion, but ManyChat I would never get rid of. That would be the one thing that we would stick with. The second way we're going to bring them in, if you don't want to do the whole ManyChat thing, which I would highly recommend you do, is we have to have some infrastructure on the website to have landing page and web forms, right? And this is just a simple like subheadline, headline, why you should register, form, and social proof. That's it. If you look at any of our landing pages, they follow that exact same structure. Technically, it's logo, subheadline, main headline, why you should register, form, social proof, or risk reversal, right? Risk reversal would be 100% free and you can unsubscribe at any time, right? That would be like, hey, don't worry, it's going to be okay if you give us your contact info. Maybe you have reviews or something below that, but after that, like that's it. That's the entire squeeze page. The more you put on there, the more you are inhibiting somebody to becoming a registration on that page. So we want to keep those really simple. Technology that I would use for this, you could use the $20 HubSpot Starter CRM suite, which would give you 30 landing pages that you could use. Go High Level is $100 a month. That would give you unlimited domains, unlimited funnels. Also has the full-blown marketing suite. If you're not using a CRM right now, you could use Lead Pages. That's $100 a month to do this. You could use Unbounce as another platform you can consider. ClickFunnels you could do, that's on the high side. Then that's more for like, hey, go buy my like super trinket stuff. But ClickFunnels definitely would work in this. That I believe for $97 is unlimited in regards to funnels that you can create. So the two that I would probably consider up front, or maybe the three, would be HubSpot Starter if you're not going crazy on landing pages. That's $20 a month. Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, and Go High Level. Those would be the four that I would consider to pull that off. When you run web forms, that means we have to run ads to the content that we create, and we have to take them off the social platform and move them over to the website, right? That's important to understand, because every time you ask somebody to do something, the more times you ask them to do something before they put a content is going to slow down or lower your conversion. So if it's social and then landing page and then email, then success page, then view the email, that there's a handful of steps in there, right? The reason why ManyChat works so well is it's post, comment, direct like message, and then all the conversion happens in messaging, which is why that's so effective. So when we create content in phase one, then we run ads in phase two, you need to be thinking like, how do I ethically bribe these people to get over to my CRM? So if I'm talking about, again, like what the first thing that I would do before I list my home for sale in Charlotte in 2026, I'd give them whatever my big hook is, I'd deliver on the hook. I wouldn't bait them. I would deliver on the entire hook. And at the end, you may say, if you're thinking about selling in the next 12 months, there's 3 things you probably should know before you call a real estate agent. I'll give that to you for free. Just comment list below and I will send you a DM with a link to that report that you can review. That would be how I would tie up that video at the end, to give them that conversion. And then once they go in there, you're going to say, cool, what's your email address? Awesome. Check your email in a moment. I'll send the report there. This could be a Google Doc. It could be a PDF. It could be, a Gamma AI presentation. It could be a Google, it doesn't matter what it is. It just has to deliver on the promise. And ideally, it should be built from the perspective that makes you different from everybody else. And we want to see how many of these leads we can get in as much as possible. On a $1,000 budget, I don't think it would be unreasonable to expect a $3 to $7 registration on these. And maybe your conversion is somewhere between 1.5% to 4% to an appointment. And then your appointment conversion is somewhere around 33%. In fact, we made a video a little while ago that talked about the math of $1 million GCI business based on an average sales price of $515,000. I won't link it here because I probably won't see this in the editing part, but you can go on the YouTube channel, find that video, and we walk you through all the steps: cost per click, cost per registration, follow up, all that fun stuff to make $1 million on an average sales price of $515. And I'll just give you a spoiler alert right now. The monthly ad budget for that was only $2,600. So it's, you can't grow anything without math. And if you don't understand math, you can't grow anything, right? It kind of works both ways. That's really important to remember. Let me give you thing number 4. Whenever I talk to people that I coach, and if you're watching this video and you want to partner with somebody to help build this inbound brand, I'll put a link in the description below. You can schedule a call with me to see if I want. I'll put a link in the description below, and you can click there, schedule a call with me to see if my team installing an inbound client framework into your business makes sense. It's not the cheapest, but for the right people, could be the best thing that you invest in all year. The people that really, really understand this, understand that all appointments come from the CRM. And I'll give that to you again. This is number 4, all appointments come from the CRM. And what I mean by that is people will always tell me like, well, Steve, like Facebook doesn't work. I only want bottom of funnel leads. Yeah. And you and everybody else, right? Like everybody wants bottom of funnel leads. That is the game, right? But bottom of funnel leads are in your CRM. They are not in Facebook. We need to get Facebook from Facebook to content to conversion into the CRM into follow-up into appointments. It must go in that order. You can't skip any of those steps. You could run an ad right now and say, hey, my name is Steve Olson. I'm a real estate agent. If you're thinking about buying a home in Carlsbad, California, you should call me and work together. My commission's this, and I'm available tomorrow. And could you convert on that ad? You could. You'd probably need to spend $1,000 a day though, right? Which would be $30,000 a month. And maybe you're going to get 1 to 3 conversions a month on that. There'd still be a positive ROI. It's not going to be crazy, but you're going to have to spend so much money. Like I promise you, before you get that conversion, you will quit. So what we need to do is we need to use that content for people to know us, right? And then throughout all the other funnel, the content and then the ads and then the conversion and then all appointments come from CRM. That 4-step process all the way through is what creates that know, like, and trust client journey. Because without that, you can't set appointments, right? I don't know about you. If somebody is willing to give me their first name, their phone number, and their email, or even their first name and their email in exchange for a piece of real estate information, I want as many of those people in my CRM as I can, because that gives me more people that I can have really good conversations with. Some that are thinking about buying right now, some that are thinking about buying or selling later, and some that may never buy or sell at all. But the more people in my market who know who I am and specifically what I do, the math is simple. I'm just going to make more money. That's like, we don't want to overcomplicate this. We want to create content because that's our storefront. We want to use ads to get that content in front of the ideal people. We want to use conversion to take them from the ads into our CRM. We want to use the CRM to convert them to appointments. That's it. Like there is no if anybody out there tells you there is a marketing funnel that needs to be more complex than that, then you could listen to them if you want, but it 100% does not need to be that complex. If you are not already getting our inbound daily email that is totally free, that gives you one of these strategies every day, I'll put a link below in the YouTube description. Just go to inboundclientsos.com and there's a big button right on the home screen. You can register right there and I will give you one of these strategies every single day. If you want to work with me and my team to install this, then I will put a link of that below. Again, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but if you're looking for somebody to coach you through the inbound marketing process and have a team that will deploy all this for you, I think the ROI is cheaper than an admin, and I think you're going to find huge value in that. So I'll put a link in that below. That's the 4-step process today: content, ads, conversion, CRM. If you fall in love with that, you'll grow a business. You'll grow a huge business in 2026. All right. I love you all. I'll see you on the next one.